Hello, welcome to the Critical Obsession podcast. My name is Mirella,
And I'm Zoe.
and today we're going to talk about episode 6 of Cooking Crush.
Yay!
Is this like a reenactment of the messages that I sent you on
Oh my
WhatsApp?
god, it was it was literally so funny. So we were both kind of late, I think, watching it on Friday. I think from memory, like a little bit. I think were you a little bit late?
Sunday?
Sunday. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
I feel like we were a little bit late, but I was much late, like maybe half an hour behind you or something.
Uh-huh.
And Morella sent me a message. And she's like, "Are you watching the episode?" And I'm like, "I'm about to." And I'm watching the episode, and like my phone just keeps going ping, 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 ping with messages, and I'm
I
like,
had
either
so
like
many emotions.
I'm like either like something bad is happening, or like it's just so like adorable. She's like losing her mind. And when I went to go and listen to the messages later on, some of them were just like noises.
Seriously.
like 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 very short sentences with like a squeal attached kind of. But you know what, it's funny because the message like prior to that you would mention something that had happened in the episode, and then like it was like, you know, 2 minutes later or something, I would get this like kind of response, and I would know exactly what it was about.
The time, you're like, 5 minutes past, 5 minutes until the scene. No, because I knew I was doing something very weird, and I went back and I listened to the messages. I didn't understand half of what I sent you, but I had so much faith in you.
Well, it was
I was
really
like,
funny
no,
because
Zoe will know.
like I got the, and I could definitely get the emotion or the like intention even if I didn't quite understand all of the verbalization. But it was really funny because, as I said, like in some of them you would be like, you would actually articulate very clearly like why you were excited or whatever, and then it would be like 5 minutes later and there would just be this noise kind of, and I would know, because I would know like, okay, 5 minutes from that, oh, that's what happened. And I'm like, oh, this is her response to that. Yeah, I understand, that's fair. But
Amazing. That's
yeah.
why we're friends. You can understand me when I can't understand myself.
But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and I did the same thing I've been doing pretty much every episode of Cooking Crush that I've watched, where I've started with the best of intentions and I've written like a few notes, and then suddenly I'm just sitting here smiling like a lunatic, and my cheeks are aching by the end of the episode, and I'm trying really hard not to kick my feet, and it's just so stinking cute. Like it's, yeah.
I did not even try. I made no notes on my first watch. I just, sent you crazy voice messages.
Which I
But
guess we're in one way kind of like a note.
kind of, but it doesn't like a doctor note. I couldn't understand it. Like,
Yeah. I'm like almost tempted to go hunting through our chat and like find one of them and just like upload.
well, that would be fun. Yeah. If
Oh,
someone else.
yeah, I'm always busily trying to expose you. I'm sorry. You know, it's because I'm so like endeared and like amused by it. I'm just like, you're so cute.
Thank you. All right, let's go. I'm getting weird. Let's move on.
That's right.
All right, with the
Okay.
episode.
Yes. So I feel like we should do a little disclaimer, because I know we've done some recordings in the past. We've had a
Mhm,
glass of wine. Are you having a
mhm.
glass of wine now?
I have a bit with me. I don't know if I'm going to drink anything though.
Ah. Well, Zoe is drinking, so so we'll see what happens. Anyway, okay.
This this can be very fun for us, or she could fall asleep any
Yeah.
minute now. There are two ways
Yeah.
this can go.
Or sound really depressed, apparently. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I don't feel depressed though. I feel really giggly and happy because I just rewatched the episode because I, needed some notes.
Uh-huh.
And oh my god, this show is so fun to rewatch because
It is.
it's like I mean, I know that there's going to be a little bit of pain. There has to be pain. There has to be a little bit of drama. But
Mm-hmm.
like, it's just so fun at the moment, and it's so sweet, and it's like not. It doesn't have like, it's not, you know, super dramatic, or like, although it is sometimes, but that's for the comic relief kind of style of it.
No
But it's not
drama for the sake of drama, right?
exactly, yeah.
You
And
know,
so
I've noticed this is like a trend because, like, for example, in Last Twilight, there's no drama for the sake of drama.
mm,
I just cannot think of a moment that feels like drama for the sake of drama.
yeah,
Dangerous Romance as well, like the new stuff that I've watched, like even the series that you recommended to me, the Chinese one, Hidden Love.
hidden love. Oh my god, guys,
Loved
if
it
you want a good show,
absolutely. I have such big crushes on both characters. I don't
yeah.
know who I like more.
And
And
it's like I have a boy crush and a girl crush.
yes, and it's just there's no drama for the sake of drama. And
Yeah,
even the moments you could, if you twist it a bit and like watch it through some kind of a lens and blah blah, you could say that there's potential, but the way it's handled, it doesn't feel like it. And this
yeah.
one also feels like this, and it feels fresh
It does.
because of it. Yeah.
It's nice, and I feel like also because I'm like watching it again now with a set of fresh eyes. Um, I'm just like, the things that endeared me on the first watch I'm still having that reaction, but I'm also like seeing that there are, even though this show seems very kind of like surface level, there's actually so many little nuances to it. It's really interesting. So I'm actually
Hmm.
I noticed actually quite a few things tonight that probably, I feel like we're getting to that stage now that we're going to start to notice a few more of the serious aspects of it, because we're getting into that kind of, I guess, era of it. Um,
Oh, I'm
before,
excited to hear your thoughts on
yeah,
the
before
series
it
stuff.
was like innocent and sweet, and like they were kind of stumbling around the place. Now they're really invested, and you know, that's when shit starts hurting, you know, if you're not careful. So very excited anyway. So
So it starts with the kiss, and again, I'm not gonna say anything about it again. Like, I'm not gonna say that would have been so much better if they shown it in the preview, or no, in the trailer
mm.
for the last episode. I'm not gonna say it.
I actually think it works. Like, I think
No,
I
here
like,
it works. It works 100%. It's so
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I still hate it. I hate the fact that they included it in the preview.
You're like, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna speak about it, but I'm so bitter.
yeah, I'm gonna talk about it.
Well,
Mm-mm.
it's funny that you say that, because I was like, you know, I've got notes here where I'm like, I already spoke about the kiss in the last podcast, but I'm just like, I'm gonna talk about it anyway.
When we finally get to it naturally, like, it's so freaking good. It's so good.
Well, it's just, yeah, it's one of those things. So okay, so all right, so we do actually see, you do see it at the beginning, because we're getting that,
Mhm.
like, we get the bit where basically Prama's like, I guess you're wanting to know like how the hell we got here, kind of thing. So you do
Mhm.
actually get the kiss. So I'm going to say a couple of things just quickly about it before we go on any further. But I just love this kiss so much, because I feel like there were so many tiny details in it. I love how they both wanted it so much they like met in the middle. Like, I just love that. And but I'll talk about more of it later. But yeah, then we get this like
Mhm.
31 hours later, and it was funny because I remember we were
It's
talking about it.
31, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't
I
remember
have
if
a
we
note
did,
that said, so it's 31. Okay, okay,
because
thank
we were
you.
like, is it 24 plus 7? We were like trying to do the maths or whatever. And I don't remember if we had that conversation actually in the podcast, but we definitely talked about it, because we were trying to work out like, is this like consecutively, or are these
Hmm.
like parallel
Hmm.
timelines? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 31 hours later is the official count.
Yep.
And I was right. We got to see that scene immediately after the conversation, like where it left off. Um, and
Yes.
I did wonder why they did this, like why they did this at the end of the last episode. We had this weird fast forward um, to the kiss, didn't get it, and then now we're going back. And I thought, is this just the way they wanted to tell the story? Because I mean, it works as a way to tell the story, but I'm like,
Hmm.
Or did they do it to build anticipation because they knew that like these episodes were the episodes that were going to bridge the break? Because if they did it on purpose for that, I feel like it was kind of clever because it did work really, really well. There was lots of, it built a lot of anticipation in me anyway, because I was just like, I need to know what happens. So yeah, I thought it was interesting the way they did it, but I'd love to know like what the motivation was behind it.
If you have any thoughts, you, our dear listener, please let us know. We're very curious
Yeah, for
what
sure.
you think about it. Yeah.
And then 10 is like so jealous in this stuff. Like
It's so funny that you predicted that Prem would try to teach 10 the things that Chanma taught him.
Yeah. And it's so funny because he's like,
That's so spot on.
he's already being weird, like with Prem, before he even learns that that Prem is teaching him something that he learned from the other chef. Like he's so sulky. And it's like, then he finds out like what's actually going on, and so then he's just like, it's so funny because we got Prem is basically trying to teach him something that he thinks is really special. You know, he brings out the hormone stuff, which I'm sure he probably thought like 10 would appreciate, given that he's a medical student. And also it was really cute. I feel like that scene actually was really cute in that moment where he's talking about the hormone that like inspires your appetite and stuff like that, because he's like, oh, you know about that? So he did, like Prem was kind of on the right track with like sharing something. Like it was a shared interest kind of thing, and he thinks this is really cool, you know, whatever. But I also did wonder, like, if the fact that he chose to use the school kitchen to teach him this lesson, it was almost like he was trying to keep things professional.
Yes, that, and the fact that he had all this information, because before that, what 10 wants now, at least, is to spend time with Prem. He doesn't want a lesson. He just wants to hang out with him. He wants to have fun with him. And now Prem is being all like,
super
teacher,
serious.
what I
Yeah,
learned. Yeah,
like
but
really professional with him, like
yeah.
really professional, like almost distancing himself. And I felt
Well,
like it
yeah,
was
because
really
it's the consequence of
yeah.
10's father getting involved.
Well, that's right. And he's not really sure. Like, he's not really sure what he's doing, what he's gonna do. And I feel like the weirder that 10 got, the more sort of like kind
Doubtful.
of weird Prem got as well. Like they were like feeding off each other. And then of course we got like this cut then to Fire and Dynamite.
Actually, I want to talk about the fact that um, Tan doesn't like that Bram is trying to push this idea that he got from the chef, eat with your eyes first. Because it's like Tan's way of thinking is like he doesn't want to spend time decorating it. He wants to focus on the flavor. He doesn't want, it's like he doesn't want Prem to pretend to be someone else.
Yeah.
And I think he's being a bit narrow-minded here, especially because he is jealous, because appearance does matter in the end.
Oh,
It's
for sure.
flavor.
But I mean,
Ultimately, it's the flavor that matters most, but the first impression is important as well, and it makes you notice stuff that you'd otherwise overlook.
I'm just laughing because I have a vague recollection of telling you last night about my dinner and saying something like, it looks like dog food, but it tastes awesome.
I honestly don't remember. But I'm glad
that
it
I
was
do.
tasty. So, and even later when they go to this place that doesn't look fancy, and 10 questions it, like, really? Is this that good? Well, because, the first impression matters.
Yeah, look, I think part of it is because like I get that. I was funny because I was going to talk about that later when this scene actually happens where he's having the discussion with Metha about it. But I feel like it's what you're saying and everything, but I also feel like part of, besides the jealousy, I do think, he's kind of, he is concerned about 10 not being himself, and also Prem, sorry. 10 is concerned about Prem not being himself, Because as far as 10 is concerned, Prem is already perfect. His food is
It is true.
delicious. He has like so much faith in him.
And at first, I thought, I remember, was it in the first episode or wasn't? I don't. Well, I thought Tan would be the one who will try to encourage Prem to be himself and not change at all, and maybe like the Shangma chef will be the one who will try to change Prem and make him, pretend to be someone else, and in the end, like Prem will go back to the origins and everything. But I was surprised to hear the Changma chef tell them to be themselves later in the episode. So they're really not making a villain out of him.
No, it's
It's
funny
more.
because
I think it's more about Tan's issues with himself. It's
yeah, well,
not.
he's feeling insecure now because
Yeah.
now they're having this kind of like there's a vibe between them. There has been a vibe between them for what, a little while now, and suddenly everything is starting to come to an end.
Decisions must be made.
That's right, and they're unsure about how the other person feels, all the
Mhm.
rest of it, and it's exactly what you said. And I have some notes here later on. I was going to talk about this, but like the fact that I thought it was really interesting because you mentioned about, sorry, I'm just trying to find my notes for it. You were talking about like how he doesn't want to have that learning necessarily relationship from him, and that's exactly right. Like, because it's
Mhm.
like when they come to the end of their sort of, I guess, last lesson, last like date kind of thing that they, before they go on their little date, it occurred to me that he could have asked him to teach him some more and like paid him,
Mhm.
offered him more
Mhm.
money to teach him some more. And I feel like, you're completely right. This is something that he doesn't want to do because he's like not, he doesn't want to be in that kind of relationship. He wants them to be like boyfriends, and so paying Prime to spend time with him is a bit like, well, it's the opposite of that, isn't it? And it's muddying it because there's like this, are you doing it because I'm paying you, like,
Mhm.
and that there's that sort of in there as well. And and it's also, but I also wondered initially as well, besides the actually wanting to like learn how to cook, when he first offered to pay him, and offered to pay him so, outrageously, he obviously used his father's money. That's what we learned.
Mhm.
And so it's almost like he kind of did it as a bit of a fuck you to his dad, and he was probably
Yeah.
expecting his dad to like, for it to draw his dad's attention or piss him off or whatever. And now,
Yeah.
like, now that he knows promos and that as well, he probably doesn't really want to be drawing his attention. He's probably aware of the fact that his father's kind of a dick in regards to this, and if he knew what was going on between them, like, he would maybe do something horrible. And I feel like I honestly don't think he'll be shocked when he finds out later that his father has gone behind his back and done what he did and like basically hurt Prem. Like, he's not going to be
Mhm.
surprised by that, I don't think. And I feel like,
Mhm.
so besides not wanting to have like, I guess, a transactional relationship, like, here comes the transactional relationship talk again. But yeah, besides not
Yeah.
wanting to have that kind of relationship with him, I also wonder if it's a little bit about like keeping it separate from that side of, his life as well. But unfortunately, as we know, it's already happened. He just doesn't know it yet.
Mhm.
So,
So then we switch to Fire and Dynamite.
oh look, this scene is really interesting and really funny. And once again, I know I talked about it in the last podcast because we saw bits
Mhm.
of it in the last episode. But obviously we got more of it here. So like, I just love the way that when they initially kind of like pull up alongside Dynamite and Sam C, the way Fire and Dynamite are looking at each other in the beginning of this scene is like, Fire is like totally like hardcore checking out Dynamite, and Dynamite is like, he's like analyzing him. Like he's like, what are you
I
doing?
feel
Like, what is happening? Why are you here? And then suddenly, like, it's like he gets this light bulb moment where he's like, he
I
realizes
remember
why he's
hearing
there.
this. When they were looking at each other, I could hear thunder or something, some weird sound that made me think of thunder when they're like throwing lightnings out of their
Yeah,
eyes.
thunderbolts.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, on the
yeah.
cover, like,
Well, as
whoa,
soon
I
as
don't
I love
hear
how like as soon as he realizes that they're like there to buy sex or whatever, he's like, get in the car.
that.
And then like
That's on
then
my watch.
sorry.
That's on my watch.
Yeah, and then basically running from the cops and leaving poor Samsy behind. I did think it was really cute how Metha was like was the one that went to go and help him. So even though we had the scenes in the beginning where he was like teasing him and like kind of, I guess, giving him a hard time, he's obviously, as we know, he's not a bad guy. He's just like, for whatever reason, he was just, that was his mood that day.
Meatballs transform him into a jerk.
Well, maybe that's something they seem to have food and their love of food in common. So like, it's like when what's that term, like when you're hangry and it's just like all you can see are the meatballs. But yeah, and he's like, when he got out of the car and then he's like with the cop and that, and he called Samsy his friend, which I just thought was really sweet. And then the cop being all judgmental about Samsy being a student because of his age on his ID. I was just like, I felt that burn actually, because I went to uni and I'm just like, yeah, okay. I remember that my days of being a perpetual student. I felt a little bit called out by that scene, but I also did find it amusing as well.
Yeah.
And then of course we went back to Dynamite teasing Fire. And I love this, and I said this last time too. I love how he's like kind of teasing him, but he really doesn't push at all in this scene. Like as soon as he kind of realizes that Fire actually likes him back, like he's really actually really sure of it in this moment, like 100%, and yet he backs right down because he knows that he's not quite ready or whatever his intentions are. He lets him be. And Neo's little, like, I love Neo in this scene, like his little, like Fire's little I'm having butterflies smile when he's like, when they're like, he's looking away from him. I just about died. I was like, it's so cute. And Neo, I don't see Neo as like cute like that, because usually in everything I've ever seen him in, he's a complete nut job. Like his characters are either like really like angry or like really like over the top ridiculous or whatever. I've never really seen him as like adorable or cute, and I just went, oh, this is just killing me, this bit. So I loved that.
Then we go back to Pram, who is frustrated and he wants to return the money. I'm in love with his sister.
Can we, before we get into that, this was one of the bits that I noticed, and how I said to you before, I on the second watch I saw a couple of deeper insights, and one of them was in the like transition between the two scenes. We see this like plaque that's hanging in the house, and it's in Prem's grandma's house, and it says, "This house is blessed with happiness and comfort," which is the exact opposite of Ten's house. And like, yeah, I loved the cute sibling talk as well. Like, and then coupled with like Metha basically calling Ten an idiot at the same time was really, really fun for me, because we had this really like kind of deep, insightful conversation happening with Pang being really, and I have to say, I need to say, like, Pang and Dynamite, the youth of this series are so insightful.
Yeah, I'm in love with his
they're
sister.
smart, yeah, insightful.
I'm in love with his sister. She's very wise and insightful. And I love this line that she says, I never feel pitiful about our situation. Grandma raises us so well. Because I like the fact that she included grandma in the conversation, considering that Pram is an insecure person. Because sometimes when you start feeling like crap as a person, the only thing that can help you get you out of that headspace is to put things into perspective. And to put things into perspective is focusing on a person that you love and caring about them. Because like if you imagine someone that you love going through something similar to you, going through something that makes them feel shitty, like you question yourself, would that make you love them less? And the answer is usually no. So if he had like to imagine someone telling something that upsetting to like his grandma instead of himself, he'd get angry on her behalf. He would not agree with the things that that person was saying, right? So he'd start defending them. But
Yeah.
that's a problem for that's a problem for people who don't love themselves that very much, because if you're that person that you love and who's put in a shitty situation, you'll want to defend yourself without feeling the need to imagine someone you
I think
love
I think
instead of you.
unfortunately tied up in this is ever since he got the extra money, he knew it was unreasonable. And so he's felt guilty a little bit the whole time. And the more he liked the more he liked Ten and the more he enjoyed spending time with him, just like Ten not wanting to pay him, he also felt weird about, I guess, like it's like, even without like, having romantic feelings, it'd be like your friend paying you to spend time with them, or for you to, like, I mean, you teach friends and people you care about, like, sometimes if we know how to do something, you'll, like, teach them. Like, I'm expecting you to teach me how to edit later.
Yeah,
But
but
you
I
know what I
was
mean?
I
Like,
was
we
talking
share
about.
our knowledge, but we do it for free. We do it because we like love that person. We like spending time with them. We value them. So like having
I
that.
feel like this is one thing, but um Tan's father aimed for something when he said, "Don't use your pitiful situation."
Oh,
That's what he was referring to, because it's like it's like something that you should be ashamed of, that you're not as rich as
well,
Tan's
I mean,
dad.
he's hearing it too as well, like, because that's the same sort of crap he's been hearing from the bullying ones as well.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they look down on them in his situation.
Well, that you're not doing enough, you're not hardworking enough, you're not
Mm.
putting enough effort into what you're doing, you're not smart enough. Like something is not good enough about you. You're
Yeah, that
you're to blame.
you haven't risen above to improve your situation, which is a
Exactly. Yeah.
joke really, because so many people um who are of the elite, let's say class or whatever, didn't earn it. It's been
Yeah.
given to
They
them
just
by their
inherit.
parents or by their,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, they don't do anything to contribute to it. They just reap the benefits. But yet
So
still a race to look down on those who actually do, work 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs just to make ends meet.
it's cool that the class difference issues continue to be explored in the series that we talk about in our podcasts.
Mm.
I noticed that this theme is often explored in K dramas, but lately BLs tend to dive into the subject as well,
And I
which
like how
is
they're coming at
cool.
it from different angles as well,
Yeah,
because
yes.
it's like,
They have different things to say about this subject.
yeah, I think that, but also I think that it's important to note that, like, because often when you see, like you were saying, like other types of other genres of dramas and things like that often do, you know, touch on these sorts of subjects, but they tend to often do it in the same way. Like, it's always like, you know, the poor girl and
I
the rich
agree.
boy, or
Yeah.
like whatever. Whereas
Mhm.
with this, like, they're completely different situations. We've got, high school students, we've got, university students, we've got, and ambitious, not doing things, like they're coming at it from different places within
Yeah.
those class distinctions, and like, with the different
Exploring all kinds
backgrounds.
of situations.
Yeah, so it's really
Hmm.
interesting to see. Yeah, and I feel like it tells a story as well, because it basically says, like, it's not a um one size fits all situation. Like, it can happen to
Hmm.
you, it can happen to anybody. It can, like, just because you don't fit the, traditional mold of like discrimination or whatever, it doesn't mean that you're not being discriminated against, or whatever. So I quite like the commentary that they're putting forward. It's making people think about it, I think, which is cool. um
Yeah.
and I also, like, as you said, like, I really liked the conversation between Pang and Pram. And the other thing I liked is she sort of calls him out. Like, she says to him, so besides, what you were saying and me saying that I also think he feels guilty, she says like basically what you were saying is that he needs to stop caring what other people think about him, because once you
Yeah,
stop doing that,
being afraid of people's judgment will result in you never being happy with yourself either.
yeah, that's right. So I mean, I used to be, I've never really been someone who is like super self-conscious. Like I'm a loud person. I, although I did whine earlier on, listeners, about how much I hate my laugh again, to which Marilla
Mhm.
threatened me for. But I,
I
like, I'm not, if I'm out somewhere and I'm being loud or whatever, I'm not embarrassed by that. I don't try and be obnoxious or anything, but I'm also not, I don't care what other people think of me, basically.
Mhm.
Unless I care about you, I don't care what people think about me. And I've always kind of been a bit like that, which is really quite refreshing. But then
Freeing, I
it
think. It
is,
must be
yeah, it's
freeing.
freeing. Freeing is the right word, not refreshing. Freeing is the right word. But it's also a double-edged sword, because if you do care about somebody and they're not really worthy of that, then their opinion of you is like, can really be very detrimental. And I had to sort of like look at how I think about how other people, like people I care about, think about me as well, and sort of go, well, like, I can't control that. You know what I mean? Like that is not something I can control, and their personal opinion doesn't alter the reality of like what I am or what I'm going through. So I feel like what Pang is saying to him in this scene is really, really like once again, I'm going to use the word insightful, and it's a lesson that I don't know if he hears it here, but hopefully that might be like one of the themes that at the end he will just be able to be like, well, you don't like me, but that's okay.
It's
Because
such
your
a thought
son
that
loves me.
you can know this thing your whole life and yet not be able to live by it. It's heavy stuff. Heavy, heavy stuff.
Oh yeah, it's in my family. Like I know, like my mum will sometimes get embarrassed when we're out or something, or my sister about something, and I'm like, why? Why do you care what those people over there, who we will probably never see again, and who's like, we don't know anything about them either, why would you care what they think? Like, I always thought it was really weird. But like when you read and you watch things and you see things from other people's point of views and stuff, I try to put myself in that situation and imagine what that would feel like. And as I said, the closest I've got to is when I've really valued somebody and then they've hurt me in a way that, you know,
Yeah, because
because
you
I've let them
internalize
in.
these things and it's so hard to get rid of them
Yeah.
when you're being judged in a certain way and then you start judging yourself
Well, the other
like
thing is
that.
as
And
well
it's
is
just,
when you have those like, you already, like, because we all have that inner voice, that inner voice that like whispers to you when you're feeling vulnerable about something. And if you're not really sure, and it's that voice that's like going, like, you suck, or you can't do this, or like you're gonna fuck it up, or like everybody's looking at you, or like those kinds of things. And then, you know if you then have someone you care about, or even, if you're someone who listens to kind of anyone's opinion, and they say something to you that like mimics or like is echoing that voice, it gives it so much more weight, because it's like, oh yeah, I can't do it,
yeah.
or yeah, it just
Mhm.
like strengthens that doubt,
Yeah, I
and
know
that,
what you mean.
yeah. And so like you can see that in Prem so much, unfortunately. And it's so funny because he seems so strong like a lot of the time. Like you see, like I see Tan is like this like adorable innocent puppy half of the time. He's so innocent. He's so bold in this episode, which I absolutely love, but he's still like, he just comes across really like kind of like sheltered and innocent to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, and then you have these moments where like Prem comes across as really adult and bold and all the rest of it. But out of the two of them, who is caring what people think about them? I feel like Ten is not going to care. But then
Mm-hmm.
that opens up a conversation as well, as he has the luxury not to care about
Yeah.
what people think of him, because he has a much easier life ahead of him because he comes from money, whereas maybe someone who doesn't come from money, you have to put yourself out into the world, in a certain
It
way,
depends on
because
other
you
people. Yeah.
want to make those impressions that are positive. You want to get the job, you want to get the this, you want to, and so you don't have the luxury not to necessarily care like what this potential employer thinks of you or whatever, because
Yeah.
like you
Mm-hmm.
need that job or you need that money. So
Yeah.
yeah, so as I said, lots of thoughts being thunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, I love the line. I don't know if she says it exactly like this, but basically, it's better to regret trying something than to regret not trying it. I love
Mm,
it.
yeah, and I think that's a good
Another hard, like, heavy truth.
yeah, and I think that is actually a really good like kind of, I guess, motto to live by,
Yeah.
because I I feel like if you look back, like especially as you get older, if you look back at your life, you very ever rarely like regret things that you did. You
Mm-hmm.
might think about how you could have done it differently,
Mm-hmm.
but then that falls under the category of like, I didn't try this, or I wasn't bold enough, or I didn't, you know what I mean? Like I didn't have the courage to give it a go, or all those
Yeah,
sorts of
that's
things.
very
So
lost.
you never really regret the doing stuff. You only regret the stuff that you didn't do. So it's like you might as well just do it.
Yeah,
And just, it's like that saying, there's a saying, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission for things.
exactly. To continue one of their thoughts, like I really like the fact that they're having so many intelligent conversations that actually lead to something. They come up with a solution and it doesn't feel like a waste of time.
Mm,
It feels it feels like an exploration of human behavior, like little debates held on different subject matters.
mm. And I love,
It's interesting to watch.
yeah, I love the way this scene was like mirrored in such a kind of like, it reminds, I guess the best way to put it is, it was like, when I say mirrored, it was like when you go to a carnival and the mirrors are all like funky, and you look like your body's all like distorted and stuff, because you have Pang and Prem having this like really serious, insightful conversation. They're talking calmly with one another. They're basically having a deep and meaningful. And
Yeah.
as you said, she is sort of like trying to open his eyes up about his insecurities and what she sees. Once again, this is her opinions of him too as well. What she sees as his shortcomings, which is like letting other people's opinions affect him. Um, and then you have on the parallel or the mirroring side of that, this quite funny, like sort of almost dramatic, like, you know, a conversation between two friends where, like, the person loves you and they're going to hopefully tell you like it is, whether you want to
Mhm.
hear it or not. And, he's basically doing the exact same thing as Pang is. Matha is basically doing the same thing as Pang is he's like pulling back the curtain on how, like, why Ten is acting this way, why Ten is feeling this way. Like with Pang, she's saying to Pram, well, you've got this insecurity about like what people think of you, and these people don't matter, is essentially what she's saying. She's like, what matters is how do you feel about him and how does he feel about you? Because at the end of the day, they're the only ones who are in the potentially going to be in the relationship. They're the really ones that really matter. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can let other people affect your relationship if you let them, but at the end of the day, you are the ones that have to be in it together. No one else is going to be in that relationship with you. So,
I
like,
think it's a bit different because just as you said, Tan is confident about what he's. I think in this scene, Tan is only trying to save face in front of his friend. I think he's very much aware of his feelings.
I don't think
That's
he
why.
knows he's
That's why I
jealous.
think he does. I think that's why he goes straight to what should I do now once he's forced to be honest. What he wasn't aware is about the fact that he was being kind of a dick to Pram by acting all judgmental and rude because
I
jealousy consumed him.
I think what Mather is kind of trying to say to him in that scene, and I think maybe he does realize he's jealous, but maybe what he doesn't realize is that his issue, and Mather sort of breaks this down for him, is that his issue isn't about like whether Prem's being truthful to himself or not. And this is interesting because Ten is bringing up this he's not acting like himself comment, and
Hmm.
Pang and him having this conversation about like, being himself and not caring what people think. So it's a really interesting parallel again. But he sort of calls him on it because he's like, your issue isn't with how Prem was behaving or what he was doing or saying or whatever. It's because there's this other person is here and you're feeling insecure, essentially. And that's where and you said admits and sort of then says, what do I do? But I love how, like, as I said, I just love the contrast between like how serious and how kind of mature Pang and that is being, and like Math is like kind of like he's all but like blowing raspberries at 10 and calling him he calls him a dimwit at one point. And you've got 10 who basically says he calls the chef that senior chef bastard. Like, and so you've got this kind of like, it's just such a contrast between the two scenes, like the maturity level.
For the siblings, it's like a heart-to-heart conversation, while for the other two, it's like, oh, you butt face.
Yeah.
Even
yeah, you're such an idiot. You need to apologize. You need to like tell him how you feel. Like, stop playing games. That kind of And I just
I love the fact that he does go to him to apologize.
Yeah,
it's very cute.
Yeah, look, I love how bold Ten is in this scene as well. Like, and I love how he says, "Let me cook here with you."
Prem gives him a way out of the situation. He is like, oh, you were tired, my lessons are too hard. But Ten doesn't want to use it. He wants to move forward. He says, I want to see you. Let me learn at your place. So he's making it clear that he doesn't want things to stay the way they are. He doesn't want to, I don't know, regress. He only wants to try new things with Prem and get closer to him.
He doesn't want the professional distance, for sure, of like studying at school and everything. But I also thought it was really interesting, this kind of like, and I'm paraphrasing, where he's like, let me cook here with you kind of thing, or at your place or whatever he says, and he wants to be in the place where it's full of happiness and comfort. Of course he does. Why wouldn't you want to be there? He's so relaxed when he's there. Like,
sure.
Like, Prem aside, like, 10 feels comfortable there because of his mum, the memories, like, whatever. Like, why would he want to be anywhere else but there? Prem is just like, the fact that Prem is there as well just makes it like a guaranteed, solution to him, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So then we get the scene next day when they cooking jab chai stew. I think that's how it's called. And it's hilarious how the sister keeps popping up to observe what they're doing and expose Prem. The way Gon talks in this scenes when he's teaching 10. If I close my eyes, I can imagine that like there's a cooking show playing in the background and he's the cook. He really uses that voice, like I don't know how they are like in real life, but the television cooking chef voice, he nailed it.
The instructions, yeah. And I love like we get all these scenes of like 10 moving into Prem's personal space. Like, he's so happy every time he does it. But I was
just proud, like he's reached another peak, like there's another level unlocked.
Yes. And then, of course, like, oh my god, how pretty is Gun in this scene? I mean, Gun is pretty. Gun is so pretty, but like, he's so pretty in this scene. And I almost died. The snack product placement.
The chicken nuggets product placement. I laughed so hard. I remember I sent you a voice message on that. It was just
that was one of the ones I could understand.
It was so silly and like obvious. It was hilarious because I think that's what I actually started squealing and spiraling in my voice messages to you. That was the start, like towards the end. Like,
the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
But I really like they have this really, because we have this scene where they're cooking the stew, and I love the little scene as well that we got between Prem and Pang, where basically they're bickering and she's like teasing him because he's chosen a dish that guarantees that he is going to see 10 again. And 10 watching them like this back and forth between the siblings and it's like you can see he's kind of like got the idea that maybe Prem might want to see him again, and he's happy about that thought, that possibility is a thing. And they're just so stinking cute. And then of course it's like we get, you know, the scenes where it's like, it's so funny because they act like they're never going to see it. It's so dramatic in actual fact. They act like they're never going to see each other again when they've actually already made plans to like meet up again to have the stew.
Oh, yeah.
But they're like, this is the, it's like, I feel like it's like one of those kind of like, you know, if they had done some sort of like animation and dressed them up or something and made them bloody I can't remember, Jack and Rose from like Titanic or something, and like and played out the scene on the, you know, on where they're floating and Jack goes into the water, because it was so like, it was like that, like we're never going to see each other again, and yet they had literally made plans to see each other like the next day or whatever to have this stew. So it was slightly dramatic because of that, but I loved how cute it was as well, like this whole idea about there not being, you know, he wants to take photos and all this sort of stuff, and
Bram teasing him,
yeah,
and the hand touching, squeal check.
yeah,
The hand touching.
yeah, I'm
Yep.
pretty sure, yeah, that was probably one of them, because it's like, it's so funny because as soon as he does it, he's just like, he's like kind of trying to check himself about the you know, the contact, but yet the whole day has just been like contact. But it's this idea that like his heart is racing, they both feel so empty, like the whole thing is just like the sweetest thing ever. And once again we get bold.
I had this thought that wow, that was such an anime moment, because imagine turning around like that in real life to calm your heart down. It'd be so weird. But here, it's, I feel like it's done the way it's done in anime.
Yeah.
And it feels a bit familiar because of it, and it's easy to suspend your disbelief. Is this how you say it? To suspend your disbelief.
Suspend your disbelief. Yeah, it's kind
Yeah,
of like,
imagine that, but in anime, like it's just, it works so well.
yeah, it's like those scenes with in shows where like the character suddenly breaks and they like look at the camera and they talk to the camera like they're talking to the audience. It was like if something like that had happened, because we sort of got a little bit of a scene like that kind of at the beginning when he was like, you want to know what happened to get us to this place kind of thing, that had that sort of vibe to it. It wouldn't surprise me, and I feel like they would be able to make it work with this, because as you said, you used to said,
well, Chan does look into the camera sometimes, doesn't he? When we see his visions, when he tries the food, sometimes he looks into the camera and says stuff. I think he said something when he threw the ball and hit Bram. Also, like he looked into the camera, was like, "I'm gonna show you whatever."
Yeah.
So they do break the fourth wall sometimes,
and but it just works because you go straight into this like really dramatic, somewhat animated, like you know, is kind of almost like fantasy, whatever. And so you know, we sometimes you do. This is not like, it's funny because you said, you know, you brought up anime and stuff, and like usually these sorts of things work really well like in a book or something, but when you're watching a show, sometimes it's really hard to translate these kind of moments where, let's face it, we do sometimes have these kind of moments, you know, where like something will be happening to us and we have this like internal, you know, monologue, or like you know, our imagination is running wild or whatever. And I mean, it's not the first time someone has been talking to me about something and I'm picturing it in my mind and it's like maybe serious, and inappropriately I just start laughing because in my mind, look, what they're telling me looks so ridiculous. And so yeah, I really have to check myself there. But like but that doesn't translate very well on film usually, because you have to do it in such a way that, as you said, you suspend the disbelief, or it's very clear that what you're doing is where we know like it's in their mind, or we know it's like whatever. And I feel like they're doing a really good job of that in this as well.
They are. And so this is a decisive moment for them to continue or not. But you know, Tan is already in love. He'll not let go. It's too late for him. He is lost.
Oh, he is so lost. He's just like, he's so bold. Like I would actually have loved to have seen you know, like what Mather actually said to him when he said, "What do I do now?" Because he clearly,
Go for
yeah,
it.
he
Go
must
for
have
it.
just said like, whatever you do, don't like back down or whatever, because I feel like he just keeps coming, like he's just not about to let anything get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like even from the trailer for next week, it seems like that is a consistent theme with him, where he's not about to back down. um and so but yeah, so of course we have this like cute little moment where he basically kind of almost rushes Prem, and like
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "Oh, I'm really hungry, and you know, and you know, come and eat with me." And it's just really cute. The restaurant they go to is so cute
I
and
wonder,
pretty.
is this another place OffGun found and go to eat together? Like, I'm kind of wonder now.
Well, I mean, apparently, like every other place, haven't they? Like, isn't
Uh-huh.
that somewhere that they've eaten or whatever?
Included in this series. Like, here.
It's like, yo, yeah, we found this restaurant one time, and so like,
Uh-huh.
let's put it in. But yeah, it wouldn't
Yeah,
surprise me. But it looks
referencing to,
really,
in case you're confused, you dear listener, the place that we saw, the hotel restaurant, off mentioned that it's a place they go to
it is
or they
actually,
found.
yeah, it's a real place that him and Gun go to and eat.
Mhm. So
So
that like,
So now we're just like wondering like how many of these other places are places that they go,
uh-huh.
yeah, to eat food. This place was really cute, I reckon. I love how like it
Yes.
was so intimate and pretty. I would love to eat somewhere like that. Um and so and then we had this like scene where you know, after they'd finished eating and everything, where Off makes, oh no, that's when they're at the market, and isn't
I
it
think
after they've
that
got their
at first
desserts?
them explaining that business is hard for small owners, especially
Yeah,
when you start from scratch and have no help.
yeah, that's
I think
right.
that's the first conversation that they have, which I loved.
Yeah. I feel like with with 10, if he has any like prejudice or anything in regards to like classes or whatever, it's not something he's like learned in a way that is,
It's not something that he believes in. It's something that he just goes along with without
well,
questioning,
I think he
because that's
hasn't
what
really,
he heard.
yeah, I feel like maybe he hasn't really thought about it.
Thought about it,
He
yeah.
comes across as like very innocent, and he's not really
Mm,
like, he hasn't thought about certain things because he's
mm,
so focused on his goal that like he doesn't
yeah.
really see a lot of the world. And so like Prem sort of explaining to him about like how hard it is and how this is a thing, and you know, all the rest of it is really like, I mean, even when he says to Prem, "Oh, you know a lot about it or whatever," and Prem's like, "Well, yeah, like my family owns one, and I want to have a big one, so of course, you know, like it's not something that he automatically just like puts the two and two together, because he's, you know, he's it's not a nasty like prejudice, if he has a prejudice, is what I mean. It's not something he's fostering and, you know, has you know, is something that he's like building his beliefs on or anything like that. It's unintentional, and I
Yeah,
really
the thing that
like,
he says is a meal without dessert is a meal of a commoner. This is
yeah,
the thing, which is because we didn't mention it.
yeah, well, because that's when they get to the, after they've left the restaurant, they go and have dessert, and that's when that gets said. And I love,
Ooh, but I love the fact that, when they mention desserts and they go eating to eat desserts, it's another moment. I almost started crying because they reminded me of old-fashioned cupcake, where they're
with the
eating desserts.
desserts.
And I was like,
Yeah.
metaphor for something else,
Yes,
for
and
trying
for those of you
something
who don't know,
sweet.
old fashioned cupcake is one of Marilla's obsessions. Uh,
Yes, it is.
and so like I love that they have this like sweet relationship where they're learning from each other like new things about the world, but also about themselves. Um, and there's no like negativity in these like this lessons, or this like, it's not, they're not like pointing out defects in each other or anything like that. They're just like, you know, you shouldn't do that because, and now let me tell you why, and then you make up your own mind, kind of thing. And I really liked the scenes that they had where they were doing this, like both with the question, the conversation about the small restaurants, and then also about the, you know, commoners not being, or you know, poor people not being able to afford dessert, because you know, the price of sugar is so high and things like that. And but then so we had these like, and once again, it's like the scene with Pang and Prem, these like serious moments woven into the show, butted up against like either really sweet moments or really funny moments. And in this moment, it's really, really sweet. Like the bit where Prem went to feed him.
Dessert moment?
Yeah. So the bit where
I
Prem went
was
to
having such theory of love flashbacks when they were feeding each other ice cream. I was like, OffGun, stop being cute, OffGun, no. I was dying. I was dying.
But it's so funny because like the bit where Prem goes to
What
feed him.
I'm pretty sure one of the squealing messages that I sent to you that you cannot decipher is about this.
The bit where Prem like goes to feed him with the spoon and he looks like taken aback, and how I feel like Prem just assumed it's because, you know, like of his like distance thing, and he says to him, you know, like it's a clean spoon, you know, it's okay to eat from it. I don't really think it had anything to do with that, because like literally like 2 seconds later they're both like sharing their spoons and their desserts and like, you know, all the rest of it. And you know, later on it's like, well, you know, not such a big deal when you're about to swap saliva. But anyway, I feel like it was more like he didn't expect Prem to be that
because it
forward.
means so much to him. It means so much to him, and so I was like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah, it was like he didn't expect him to be that forward and like to show this kind of, I guess, like care outside of like the lesson, because in the past, whenever he's sort of like given something to Ten like that to try, it's been part of the lesson, so it's been part of this paid experience, I guess. And now this was something completely different, so I think that was why he reacted the way he did, and I just thought that was so sweet. And then we got the bridge scene.
The bridge. There, the bridge. If the bridge represents their relationship, it's like they're reflecting on it by watching the bridge.
Yeah.
Which is basically what they do, because Ten has this line, sometimes people get carried away without even realizing it. So this is, you know, Prem is aware of Ten making his moves, and he is remembering his sister's words. And Prem gives him a way out again and tells Ten about they talk about relaxing and spending time with him. I don't remember. Oh, they were talking about the next weekend and how he should spend his next weekend, right?
Yeah.
And Ten's like, I want to spend it with you. Yeah. Prem was like, are you sure?
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, that's right, because I thought, you know, you would want to do something like this. And he's like, but when I'm with you, I feel relaxed. Essentially, it's my escape, is being with you.
When he says like, I meant to walk or watching a movie, I was expecting Ten to be like, oh, so let's go on a walk.
Yeah, let's go and watch a movie. Yeah, I must admit, I was expecting a date invitation from that as well. But the bridge scene for me, it was kind of healing, because you were talking about Kai Third and Theory of Love before, and I was like triggered by the bridge scene a little bit when I first saw it in the trailers and everything, especially because Ten uses that line about, you know, something about the sometimes people get carried away thing, and I'm like, don't make this a sad scene, because I have with OffGun, I have like triggering things because of episode 10 of not being bridge scene with Sean and Black, and I'm just like, that was so traumatic, like, you know, it was so traumatic.
Come on, they went back to that place and they fixed things.
They did, but like, well, White and Sean did, not Black and Sean. I don't know that they ever went anywhere together again, but we will never know. But yeah,
it's fine. He feels better about Sean because White loves him. It's okay. They fix things.
True. And I like how they had this kind of like, as you said, this moment where Ten kind of gave Prem an out, and Prem kind of gave Ten an out to a certain extent. And they both were just like realized that that's not what they wanted. You know, we had this like moving in together again. to
turning
kiss.
to each other. Yeah.
And I'm like, this was traumatic for me because it didn't happen.
Seriously, I was so scandalized by the interrupted
And then
kiss.
I
I
was
couldn't
just like,
believe it happened.
yeah.
Like fireworks are so overrated, Zoe.
No, but
Who
you know
needs
what?
them?
I was just like, it was really cute. Like the moment was really cute, and then we had this
Good, good.
unexpected. The fireworks. I get you. I'm not a huge fan of fireworks myself because mainly because everybody stands around like in real life fireworks. Everyone stands around. You're looking up. You get home. You blow your nose. It's full of ash, right?
How close to them you're staying? What kind of fireworks are you watching, Zoe?
Like when we have our New Year's fire, I remember one year going to the beach and like having fireworks, and when I got home, oh my god, I blew like black boogers for a week.
Are you
But
sure that
anyway,
wasn't fun?
off topic. But, I was just like, these fireworks actually were really pretty though. I did think they were really pretty fireworks, and I was just like,
Mhm,
so we had this really cute moment, the almost kiss, and then we had this unexpected beauty of fireworks, and I was like, what an interesting
mhm,
cock block they were.
mhm. So now they're both hyper aware, left hanging, and
They're
it's
so
kind of
sad.
Pram's time.
Do
It's
you
yeah.
do you remember last podcast? I think I said something like, "We don't know what happens. Maybe this is a like super dramatic ending, or like whatever. Maybe something bad happens because we didn't know what
Mhm,
happened in this like 24/31 hour period of
uh-huh.
time." And they seemed really both really like quite uncomfortable and quite like disappointed and upset, and it's because they were so like
They're
disappointed that
nervous,
they didn't get to kiss.
and they were nervous.
Yeah,
It
nervous.
was Pram's turn to make his move, and he's scared. He pulls back because
They
he probably think it's too complicated.
Yeah,
Maybe
they
not worth
both
it.
felt so unfulfilled in this moment. That's what it
Mhm.
was. That was what was coming through the most.
But Ten won't let him go, and so
Mm-hmm.
he pulls him back, and they
Yes.
kiss. I died at the kiss this time. The lead up was so good. And also the fact that Pram, I remember sending you another message about it. Pram could reach him just fine, just to kiss him, but he rises on his toes to push into the kiss.
Yeah. Well, because he's still being so careful. With, like this is to me, this is like, this is how I know like this character really cares about the other character, because we had this like full on like I guess little mini story arc about how uncomfortable Ten is with like personal touch and like people invading his space, and like even though they're sharing this intimate moment and Ten clearly wants to kiss him, he hasn't been given like full permission just to like touch him wherever. And so like they haven't had any conversations. They don't know what they are. There's no established boundaries between them at the
Mhm,
moment. So this whole moment where he like, as you said, he sort of like pushes up into the kiss because he can't help himself. Like I
mhm,
love, as I said, how much they both meet in the middle, like how much they want it. The tippy toes just killed me, but there's this like
mhm,
quite like kind of like I guess quiet desperation in the way he clutches his
mhm,
clothes, like the way he's restraining himself from like reaching out. It just more highlights like the surety and unsurety of this whole moment, because
yeah,
like he wants to reach out and grab a hold of him, but he's like, can I shouldn't, maybe I shouldn't. Like it's respectful, but it's also like there's this like, because they haven't had like the download conversation, like the, what do they call it, not download, the what's it, I can't think, there's a terminal, there's an acronym for a terminology where you talk about like what you are with a person. They have not had that. They're not boyfriends at this moment, they're not whatever, and all that Prem knows about Ten is that he doesn't like, not all he knows, but
yeah.
like one of the things he knows. And because he cares about him so much, you don't, if you care about someone, you respect them. You do not want to make them feel uncomfortable. You do not want to put them in a position where they're not going to feel safe. And you, so like, to me, this is just this whole section of them. Like they are such green flags to me.
Mhm.
The way that this part happens, and then later on the when they're texting each other and they
Oh my
both
God,
basically,
oh,
they're
he did
trying to
such a
check in
tone
and make
right.
sure that they're okay with everything and
But
that they haven't.
they did not. They did not send the text
They
after all,
didn't.
right?
They didn't. No,
Earlier,
but the
but
intentions
still,
were there. They felt that
it
way.
was
You know what
such
I
a
mean?
Sean
And
White moment.
it was very There's
Thinking
lots
of,
of like there's
are
lots
you
of
okay after doing the deed? But it just this is the innocent PG version.
yeah, yeah. Although we got the no, it was more like did you like it, wasn't it? Yeah, it was more like did you like it in the tent. But yeah, so
No, it was. They asked each other if they were okay. Like
yeah,
they stood
afterwards.
there,
Yeah, yeah,
and
after.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
after,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But
The fact that he ran. But listen, didn't the background, I mean the backstory, make the kiss so much better? Because I really felt the difference. You could feel the difference between the first time, like, or the 40s, like
well, because
counting all the videos,
we
and
had
then
this
this time.
tension. We had this tension, and
Yes.
as you said, like we knew what was behind the tension, and we had talked about, I think, like last episode, and also in the previous episode when we'd seen the trailer that that triggers you so badly. We had talked about this idea of there being another kiss, and so there wasn't another kiss, but there was an almost kiss, which
Almost.
sometimes
Yeah.
is just as important. You know what I mean? So, um, it
Yeah,
was
because they did not stop. Not It's not because one of them stopped it. It's because
the
of an
universe.
external force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So then
and
we
as I
see
said,
them
so
the
we,
next. Oh, I'm sorry.
or before that, yeah. So as I said, we had the really green flag moment of them being like,
Mhm.
wanting to check in and stuff, and just like the joint visuals of them both like basically having the kicking their feet, dying because they just like are so giddy and like in love was like soul destroying, but in the best possible way. And then
It's
yes,
beautiful.
then we
Yeah,
have
and then the
the
next day
next
we
day.
see them. Yeah, and Tan is all like, he is. He's in a uniform.
He is
I wonder,
tennis.
was he that bothered last time they went there, or the first time they went there, because he didn't want to get dirty? Is that all? Is this why
I
he
don't know,
got
but
so
like
triggered?
he is like so extra in this scene.
Oh, he is.
He's like so innocent, but also so bold. It's really funny. Like the first time,
So
I
bold.
didn't notice it too so much today. Like I was distracted by other things. But when I first
Uh-huh.
watched this the other night, and the like, he's standing there and he's all like, "Oh, I'm wearing appropriate clothing and blah blah blah," and he's like fingering this hole in his like this like so many. There's more holes in those shorts than there are shorts. Like the hole in his shorts and that, and like Prem is just standing there like going like choking almost, like going like, oh my god, it's my wet dream. And it's so funny because he's like obviously surprised to see him, but he's also just like, oh wow, okay. And I'm meant to function now. Like
Yes, but he's so freaking bold. Like, I missed you. I couldn't sleep counting down the moments until I meet
yes,
you.
yes, he's so, but he's so innocent with it as well. Like he's so innocent but also so
I
bold.
don't know. I don't know if he's innocent. He's playful, what he is.
Maybe, but it's just like I love
Because
how
I feel
he's
like
just like,
he probably feels that he has to be careful with Prem, because Prem might just freak out and
well,
pull
it's
back.
funny because I think I was trying to say earlier that we have these scenes with Prem where he like comes across as like the more mature of the two of them, like the more
Mhm.
grounded, the more adult almost. Like especially when he's I guess because maybe it's because he's the teacher in the relationship, like more so like he's
Mhm.
teaching Ten how to cook, he's teaching Ten about like his life and their differences in their situations. So maybe that is why it's coming through that way. I don't know, but like this scene to me also highlighted it because you basically had puppy dog, bold, like innocent, but also like giddy, bold, 10 being like, I couldn't sleep. I was counting down the mystery there. We should totally talk about what happened last night, and Prem all but running away. But just like being like, yep, okay, let's go somewhere else. Like
Because it's like for him, Prem opened the door and he stepped in. Oh boy, did he step in? He- he-
I feel like if Prem was like trying to shut the door, like then Tan is like got his foot wedged in there and he's just like
Too
he's
late.
not moving it. He's like
Uh-huh.
he's like, my foot's staying here. Don't worry, baby. I've got steel caps on. We're good. You can slam that door as hard as you like. My boot's not going anywhere. Um, but yeah,
Then
and
we
then
get
of course,
this scene. Um, we get the scene of Chiang Mai with the professor, and I'm in trouble, Zoe.
Oh,
I'm in trouble. I think
why?
he's so cute. I
Yeah,
think
I
he's
must
freaking
admit,
cute.
it's funny because we've talked about this a lot, and people who've
Mm-hmm.
listened know that I'm not a fan of like the love triangle, or when they're trying, even if it's not a traditional love triangle, but like even when they're just trying to drive like a third person into a relationship, or what is almost becoming an established relationship, it usually really bothers me and like makes me angry. Cough, August. But
No, but it's different because it's with August. Um, Day wasn't sure about his feelings. He
yeah,
didn't know
this is
how to
this is
proceed.
yeah, this is
This is not
why.
one of those
No,
situations.
see, this is why I feel like I'm okay with it, because like, okay, so this other chef Shang Ma, whatever his name is, he really
Mm-hmm.
likes Prem. Like, oh my god, he really
He's so
likes Prem.
freaking
It's
cute.
it's made
And the
very,
professor.
yeah,
Yes.
it's made very obvious initially in this scene, and it's like, and I honestly I
Oh,
don't have an
it's made
issue with it.
obvious when he remembers Prem when he
Oh no,
appears at
but
the
like
place.
this
But
is like, if you had any doubts, like this
yeah.
destroys those. You know what I mean? And I feel like,
And the professor likes him and he ships him with Prem. He supports him. He freaking tells him where to find Prem.
mm, which I have commentary on later on, but we'll get to that. But yeah, I just, with this bit here, as I said, I expected to have an issue with it because I usually don't like it, but I don't have an issue with him liking Prem, because I actually feel bad for him because he has like
Mm-hmm.
zero chance.
Yep.
Like he just has zero chance. And then like, so we then go from that to like Prem and Ten coming back to the house, to the restaurant, and Prem
Oh,
lying to grandma about
oh, but
why.
Tan being all in and be like a freaking bulldozer, like
But
barging
it's
into
like,
Prem's
why?
personal space, and like he says that he really needs to fight for this, and he does. Oh.
But it's like, but why is Prem like making up stories? It's so funny because like it's clear that grandma's just like, yeah, okay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course we have them like heating up the stew and everything, and we had the really cute scene of like, once again we've got our product placement again.
The
um,
bottles.
yeah,
They
but
also
like,
again the intro song and Tan acting. I just couldn't like Tan acting all Sean or white or I don't know with the bottles and the whole overconfident flirty attitude.
yeah, but like this
And you
bit
know,
here where he was it, no, he when he opens the bottle
oh
and
yeah,
like
yeah, oh,
and
fair enough.
puts it towards Prem, like so he can take
Huh?
a drink, and Prem is like, grandma's in the house, like he's so scandalized. And I'm like, dude,
Seriously,
he's
it is
just
so
offering,
entertaining.
I'm like, he's offering you a drink, like, where is your mind, Prem? Where is your mind? Like, which gun is your mind in right now? Because literally he's just offering you a drink, calm the fuck down, right? So it was
But it
like,
was so entertaining that scene. I even forgot it was product placement until the moment that they got close up on off space drinking it.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
that was obvious. Up until that point, I just like I was enjoying the moment, like ha 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 ha.
You know
It was
why?
really
Because
fun.
you get distracted by Ten staring at his lips. Like, seriously? Oh my god. Ten watching his mouth as he's drinking, and then afterwards his lips and everything. Like, this was probably my favorite part of this episode, purely and simply because it was done so well. Like,
Yeah, and Tan looked so disappointed when Prem covered his mouth. It's
I know, right?
like
He's like,
taking a toy from a puppy or
but
something. I
he
was like,
was like, he was very quickly going on a one way trip to a downward spiral that would have led to some sort of deviant behavior, I think. Um, so
oh, you know,
and
and
then
also someone noticed that someone caught this scene on Twitter with product placement that those drinks.
it's so funny.
There
You
was a
and I
shot.
both have the same note, I
Oh,
think. Yeah.
really? Oh, you go on. You'll say it better than
Yeah,
me.
no, well, because you get the scene where like after they both have their drink, the drinks
Uh
get
huh.
put down, and you
Uh huh.
all you see is Prem's waist and Ten's
Uh
hand
huh.
on his waist,
And the
and
drinks.
so some Bobby posted a screenshot of it that was just like, this is like the most like perfect shot for advertising ever for this
Yeah,
drink,
because
because
that will be
Bobbies will
repeated forever.
always like, they will be reposting this image to the end of time. Like, I feel like, and I feel like it's true. I feel like if that shows up on my timeline, I'm retweeting that. I'm reblocking it. Like, even if I did it 3 times yesterday, I'm doing it again, because like just the hand, I don't know what it was. It's so kind of like, once again, it's kind of innocent. They're not doing anything. But just, I don't know. The hand on the waist did things to me. I don't know what happened. This whole moment was
Also the moment where he speaks, Tem speaks into Prem's neck or
Oh,
ear, or I don't know.
I'm
Again,
sorry. I
so
was like,
shocking.
do you know what it reminds me of? There's a I don't know if you're familiar with it, but there's a series of action movies like uh called The Terminator. Do you know those movies?
Come on, who doesn't?
Well, I don't know. Maybe, anyway, so like I think it's the one that, I think it's like the Terminator 2 or something, with Edward Furlong in it, where it's got the bad Terminator like can mold their body into like, and change their appearance to anybody. And it was like they were like cycling through their characters and themselves in that scene, because you could see the moment like they broke a little bit, because Gunn just was like laughing at
That is
and
true.
it was really, really cute though. But like, this scene was really funny because as I said, we got the bit at the beginning where basically Prem was like, grandma's in the house, and it was very Victorian lady, like, like, oh my god, someone just flashed their ankles, kind of like. This whole scene was a little bit like that. Even like just the hand on the waist is kind of like, as I said, fairly non-scandalous, but like I reacted like, I was like, I was clutching my pearls, and but then you have this scene where like Ten is like watching Prem's mouth, and it's like, okay, it just went from like Victorian lady, Victorian gentleman, like clutching your pearls, like PG whatever, to like, I don't know, that like one scene like ricocheted up for me to like a whole other level of, as I said, if Prem hadn't covered his mouth, I feel like Ten would have spiraled into something that would have been very not like PG, very like, deviant behavior. And
then we
honestly,
come
who
to,
could blame him? Because look at those lips, really.
yep, and then we get the scene in the store where Dynamite
Fire and Dynamite. I loved
fire.
this scene. I loved
Yeah.
this scene. Oh my goodness. This scene was like, and you know what? Because we have talked probably quite a lot about their story, I think. Probably not as obviously as much as we have the Prem 10, because they're the main characters, but I feel like probably a lot, considering they're like the secondary coupling or whatever, because there was a lot of, I guess, like not stigma, but kind of stigma attached to this like idea of Dynamite chasing him hardcore to a certain extent, where it really didn't actually turn out to be like that. He's very once again, as I said, like Pang, he's a very insightful youth. And so this scene, like, with, first off, I loved how Samsey called him your Fifey. Like, he's, oh look, it's your Fifey. Like, he's like accepted the fact that fire belongs to Dynamite. Like, Dynamite has said it enough that like Samsey is just like, yep,
it became an universal truth.
Yeah.
Truth universally known.
It's like, he's like, this is the reality, clearly. And I also feel like if anyone's got eyes, they can see it. I mean, like, Martha saw it. Like, everyone's seeing it. So, but yeah, so it's like him, him being there with Jane, which I was a bit like, okay, that I was not expecting to see them together again, because of the way they're kind of, I thought their story arc had sort of finished. And then I was like, oh, well, they could be friends or like whatever, I'm just, it's not really at that point in time, and they're just at the shop together essentially. But the way he's all like, oh no, like, oh no, he's gonna bother me and blah 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 and whatever else.
Should we go scold him? Should we go scold him?
Sorry?
Oh, he says, should we go scold him?
Yeah. And then like when he just like basically ignores him, and he's like, this the soft like disappointed, hurt way he's like says he's not coming to me.
Well, like, things you can read that on his face.
Yeah, he's so confused and disappointed. And then later when they're like back at the house, like he's looking at the door, like he's waiting for him to come bursting in, and you know, like be super
Continue
dramatic.
playing that chase cat and mouse game that they have been playing up to
Yeah,
that point,
exactly. And then
because
of
he has
course,
been enjoying it.
yeah, oh, for sure. And then we had Jane calling him out about his true feelings. Like she knows, like he's not serious about her. She says that, you know, she can see that he really likes Dynamite, but he's kind of scared and afraid of his mom. And like, I basically think like he just looks so sad here. And I feel
Mhm.
like the way they re-show, because like they, you know, we had the scene in the supermarket and then he's sitting there and she's talking about like, you really like him sort of thing. And you
Mhm.
see him and he's remembering Dynamite walk away in the supermarket from him and that. And it's like he's having this moment where he's like, afraid that he's actually succeeded in pushing Dynamite away this time. Like
Mhm.
the idea wouldn't come to him. Like he couldn't fathom that like this would actually happen, and now it sort of seems like this is happening. He's kind of like really, really freaked about it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, actually, both
Yes.
scenes, like the scene in the supermarket and then the scene in his room. And this also made me sort of feel like I was kind of a little bit correct in what I said previously, because she just kind of like cut him out, you know, back when they were sort of dating, when she was just suddenly like, I don't really like you like this. um
Yeah.
and obviously I think I said at the time I felt it was because she could see it, like it's
Mhm.
obvious if you're looking that this is how he's feeling,
What
that he's
if
confused.
she noticed the way he was with Dynamite. She realized that he has feelings for Dynamite, and she got angry on her behalf because she felt used. And then when she saw his relationship with his mother, she understood him, and she kind of
Calm down.
she forgave. Yeah, she forgave him, and she
Mm-mm.
decided,
Yeah, because they don't
she can be
really.
friends with.
Yeah, because like we get that scene later on where like Dynamite's kind of slightly unhinged, and Samsey says, you know, like just because he's seeing her again or something like that, and he like loses his mind about it.
Well,
um
because just as you said, in the car, he was 100% sure about the fact that Fire was liked him, and then to see him be all cute with the girl, like he started doubting himself, and he was like, maybe I actually know nothing, and
yeah,
so he decided to retreat.
well, I think he's angry too, like because I think there's a little bit of this like because as I said, he's like you said it too, like he was had this moment in the car where he's like 100% sure, like 110% sure that Fire feels the same way. And then, you know, he sees him and they're out and he's like they're
He
having
thought they started moving. They like maybe made a step towards each other,
yeah, that's right.
but
And he's like, he reproaches him in the canteen because they had this like cute kind of flirty vibe in the car, you know, like the night before or the day before or when however many distance it was. It's not, the time frame isn't very clear. And he sort of was like, you know, like hi or whatever he says to him, and Fire just ignores him and turns around and like feeds the girl. He's not really paying any. I think she's got like her earphones in, like she's not really, she wasn't really expecting it. Like she's just like whatever kind of thing. And it's like he would, and I think Dynamite says something like, oh ouch, that really hurt, or something like that
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
says,
Mhm.
because it's like this idea of that he knows he likes him but he would rather like play straight or play like false affection for someone else than actually choose to be with him.
Mhm.
So I feel like there's a bit of that in there, and I think that kind of made him angry. Like I feel like he's angry because he wasn't being brave or whatever, which is not really fair because everybody, especially in a situation where like I feel like um I will be very surprised if what do you call it? Fire's mother doesn't have a problem with them being together. So you know, you can't, not everybody moves at the same pace when it comes to like coming out or like, you know, revealing something like that, especially when it's not something you necessarily maybe even realized about yourself before. So he's probably angry at him a little bit because he's not being brave, but also that he'd be angry at himself a little bit for feeling that way because that's not fair either. So he's in this weird position while also having to witness them being cute or whatever. Um, but I think they're just hanging out like at that point. I don't think that was like, because she's very aware of the fact that he likes the other one.
Yeah.
Um, and she pretty much said to him that she did not like him that way. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't see how they would like actually be back together again. I think it's just spending time together, probably as friends. It'll probably get mentioned later on that they've just been spending time together as friends, like they're just friends now or whatever. But yeah, I did really like those scenes because I was like, yeah, I loved the way he was kind of like, he was so broken and vulnerable, and it was just, yeah, it was really kind of interesting to see after all the other stuff we've seen.
Yeah. So then we get the scene of Tan and Prem trying the dish that they made together.
Yes. Oh my god,
and
the animation of like a game or something, and I can't really tell whether he's meant to be losing or winning in this. I can't quite tell, but like he's being
in the end he got proposed to eat
vegetable Prem.
Prem, so I guess he won.
Yeah, but
Reminded me of the What's Up song.
This idea of him like being slapped in the face with vegetables and then having Prem like dressed as some sort of root vegetable, being like, there is a really dirty joke in that somewhere about the fact that Prem is dressed as a root vegetable. I realized what I said there, but he clearly is. I think he's meant to be like a parsnip or a leek or I don't know, something like that. Anyway, so the fact that he's like dressed like a vegetable and he's like, I'm sweet, eat me. I'm like, 10, you're a pervert.
You know, it's Zoe, it's not us, it's them. They're saying that it's not you reading too much into it. It's not you putting some meaning into it. It's already there. It's already there. Have you watched? Have you like listened to What's Up? Come on.
I know. Well, exactly, right? But yeah, it's so funny. I'm just like, why? But I'm like, why is he like this though as well? Like, it's really funny because I think I saw a post where someone was like, I don't really get like why they were kind of making like a sexy innuendo, but like he's dressed like a vegetable. And it's like, this guy is obsessed with food. Like, this is sexy to him. Leave him alone. Let him have his weird kinks.
Yes, he wants to eat him. Okay, this is not the first time we hear this innuendo of I want to eat. And last time it was in front of the motel.
Yeah.
When he thought Tan wanted to eat him. Remember?
Yeah, I can't help it. I'm gonna reference prediction. I'm gonna reference something that OffGun said as well, because this whole WhatsApp song, the scene that you're just talking about, this bit in this episode just reminded me of the live that they did during Not Me, where they talked about the kissing scenes and that, and how like they ate each other until they were full or whatever they said. I'm just like, they need to stop talking about eating. It's very
no. They need to continue. Just I'm ready. Let's watch it. I'm ready for the next episode.
Yeah.
So the moment when Prem finds out, gets a call, and his friends are coming over, and the scene where he's trying to hide Tan is hilarious. He's like hiding a lover.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, because it's really funny because we get the scene like when he's answering the phone and that, and he's like starting to freak out. We get that scene that I was talking about where Dynamite is like unhinged because he's like jealous of what's going on between, or what he perceives is going on between Jane and Farah, and the way he grabs like Prem's face because he's not paying attention. I remember them talking about this in like, I think it was like episode 0 or whatever, and he was saying like how he was kind of afraid, or like maybe just a little bit, like unsure, because Gunn is like a veteran actor, and he's also like older than him, and here he was grabbing his face like this, but like how good Gunn was about it. Yeah. And so like then, as you said, we get this bit where Prem is freaking out about being scolded and distracted, and he's basically admitting unknowingly to Tan that he like loves him, or at least has really strong feelings for him, because Dynamite said in that scene that they needed to cut out all love from their lives so that they wouldn't be distracted. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna get into trouble because I'm gonna be distracted, and it's like, oh, you love him.
And Tan took the mitten again because he noticed it was ripped. And also another moment, Grandma had a call. She was acting weird. I wonder what's up with that. Did she receive bad news or something? Or am I reading too much into it?
Oh,
But
I
they
never
did
noticed that
mention it
she got
though.
a. I never noticed that she got a call because we saw the bit. She says she wants to talk to him.
But she was on the call when Prem and Tan arrived, and she was
Oh,
calculating something. She was writing something down, and then when she came down the stairs, one of the friends noticed she was acting weird, and she wanted to talk to Prem.
yeah.
Oh,
I
they're
did
going to
wonder
talk.
though if that was because he was acting weird and so she wanted to talk to him because he had been acting weird. I didn't really notice the fact that she was on the phone. But we do see
I
in
don't
the
know.
trailer that Ten's father goes there. So maybe
Yeah,
it was him on the phone.
it might not mean anything, but it might mean
Mm.
something. We'll see. So then we get the moment with the famous chefs.
Oh wait,
The
before that,
gentleman.
like
Yeah.
before we the you bit where you talk about stealing the oven mitt and everything. Um
Mm.
what was I gonna say? Oh no, it's gone. Yeah, it's alright. Continue.
So they're playing famous chefs,
Oh yep.
and then and then Chef Chang Ma appears. I hope I'm pronouncing his.
I
I'm
think
pretty sure I'm not doing it right.
no, I actually think you are, but I'm just like, it's really funny because we were talking about this before about like how the professor tells him how to find Prem and all this because he ships him or whatever, and I was like, I actually kind of the way he randomly turned up, kind of like maybe it's just me, but I kind of like freaked me out, but like kind of weirded me out a bit of it because I was just like, why would you just turn up like that? It's kind of a bit, I don't know. I mean, I get it. He likes him and everything, but it was
So
just,
he wanted to check. I don't find it weird actually. He wanted to check the place. He knew they had um, a restaurant or something, and he says
mm,
I should have made the reservations.
mm,
And I think he was expecting for Prem to make an exception for him, but Prem says basically yes, you should have, because he does not get upset, but when you're trying to approach someone, you hope that they will make a step towards you as well.
mm.
This is how I read it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because this whole scene is like was thoroughly amusing to me as well because once again I actually ended up feeling I was a bit like I was weirded out. I was weirded out with the way he just showed up randomly. That's just me
Mhm,
personally. But then I felt
mhm.
ended up feeling sorry for him again anyway because it was really funny. Um, he was just like, um, oh god, sorry, you're gonna have to cut this bit. I lost my brain.
Prem was
Um,
pretty Prem was pretty cold. He was cold. He
yeah.
tried. He was trying to keep it professional. He wanted to be just. He didn't want advice from him. He didn't want, it to get up close and personal or whatever. I mean, he might. I don't think it was um connected to Tan, but who knows? He is
Yeah,
aware,
but
I
like
think,
it's
of the
like
fact that Tan is jealous.
yeah, well it's like though when he's like he wants to help, right?
Mm.
And everything and Prem's because Prem is he has good morals, He's
Yeah.
wants to earn what he gets, which is why he
Hmm.
struggled a little bit, which is why when Ten's dad accused him of like, trying to scam Ten that it kind of hit too close to home because he already felt like weird about it. Um, but like when he offers to, help them and everything, and Prem is like, it's not really fair if we get help. Like, what about the other groups and stuff? It,
Hmm.
it's like, isn't it an advantage? Like, it's not fair. It
Hmm.
laughed me. It made me laugh so much because it reminded me of that scene from Dangerous Romance, where because like Prem is like, like we shouldn't take the advantage, and his friends like, who cares, and
Oh yeah.
and it reminded me of the scene where Salom told Kang that like if he wanted to be his boyfriend, he had to make up to it with his friends, and he couldn't like buy his friends, and he would need to earn their friendship. Meanwhile, like Otto was like, buy me all the stuff, I'm good with it. Like it reminded me of that scene so much. And then
Yeah.
it was so funny because then they had the talk about, oh, okay, we're going to do the reshoot, and Prem is like, you know, I'll go and do this, and the chef is like, oh, I'll go and help him, and the friends are all like, ooh, like they're like, ooh, like they can see that he likes him. They're all like being like kind of like, oh, something there.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, you've got, and he's like preening, like he's like, you know, looking at uh Prem, like, you know, like he's obviously trying to impress him or whatever, and Prem is just like
Like he's
smiling
trying to
at,
see something out. Maybe, maybe he mistook his admiration for something
yeah,
more. Maybe he
because
was hoping.
because this is where I felt sad for him, because Prem is just like completely oblivious. He's like looking at him smiling like he's such a nice senior. Like he's like, he has like zero like there's not really anything.
Uh-huh.
He's
Uh-huh.
just about like what they need to do and what they've got to do, of course, and everything. And then of course
And
then we
then
get
Ted
jealous.
shows up, and he's
Yes,
not being subtle.
jealous
He
doctor.
can't folded, bad attitude. Why can he stay and I can't?
Yeah, I love
But
Prem. Are you still here? Well, I was about to leave, but then I saw him parking, and I was trying to figure out if he was here for you or not. And I love he's like, why can't he stay and I'm not allowed?
uh-huh. I
And
like
I
the
love
fact that
Prem. He's like, it's not at all the same. Which straight away, right there, that you get your answer,
yeah,
because
the
you know,
same.
like, yeah, even
Yeah,
without knowing what the outcome will be of this scene for next week, he's just given everybody his answer, and you see it on the chef's face. Like he's got this, like he's watching them, and he's like, this was not a development he realized was a possibility.
but still, no, I don't remember that seeing that on his face at that moment. But I like that the fact that he fights back. I almost like him even more this moment, because he
Well,
folds his
he's
hands
oh
too.
yeah,
He
he's
starts
sassy
defending his
here.
position. Yeah,
Yeah,
he has a reason to be there. He can actually help, and he
yeah.
asks Steph
I like
like,
how
"Why
he's
Chen
like,
is there?"
yeah. It's so funny because it's just like, you know, Prem's like, yeah, it's not the same, and I'm like, well, of course not, baby. It's like, one is your teacher who you admire, and the other one is the boy you want to smash faces with. But like,
Oh,
I
the
love
other one is the
Off's.
boy you want to eat you.
Yeah, I love Ten's I am his, and then he's like, there's
Um,
this silence, and there's like, it's so weighted, like this
uh-huh.
like, and then he's like, supporter.
Supporter.
And then I love Dynamite here so much because he's just like, oh, of course he can stay. It's not like there's anything going on between you, so he won't be a distraction. He's like, but you know, if you're basically, he's like, but if you're together, then you should tell everybody the truth right now. And so everyone is literally like hanging out for the answer. Like Sam C's like, ooh, what's he gonna say? And like,
Oh, and the chef's face in that moment.
yeah,
The chef's
that's the moment I was talking about. Yeah, and then
what?
and then
Because I'm a sucker for sweet, cute, like altruistic characters, and what are they doing to me? Are they going to try to hurt me with this character?
well, it's so
But
funny because like as I said, like Dynamite is so challenging here. He's just like, everyone's waiting for the answer.
uh-huh.
You know, if the two of them are a thing, and all this sort of stuff. And yeah, as you said, the way the chef looks between, like, looks at them and then looks at Prem, like I felt sorry for him. I really did,
Uh-huh.
because
Mhm.
he's just like, wait, there are feelings actually happening here. You know, like
He's
I was
hurt.
surprised that he didn't actually realize it, because I'm sorry, but if they had come to my restaurant the way they did, I probably would have just assumed that they were a couple, because didn't like Ten pull out Prem's chair and do a bunch of other date like shit when they were there?
Well, maybe he didn't see. Maybe he didn't.
Maybe.
That wasn't the moment he noticed Bram.
Yeah,
He
maybe.
noticed him later. Oh, so yeah. So we're going to receive the answer in the next
Yes.
episode.
Yeah,
I
and
did not. I did not focus too much on the trailer because got burned already. But
yeah, well, I
what
mean,
I
like,
remember,
it's sort of basically, obviously, the father turns up, and I feel like I wondered if, when I saw this scene in the trailer where he goes there and he's talking to the grandmother about them secretly dating, he must have seen them kiss.
mm,
That's what I think, maybe. Um, and so, obviously, I feel
secretly,
like,
but using the word secretly, like seriously,
yeah,
why? Why? Why do you think it's a secret?
Although it
Why
kind
do
of
you
is,
think
because look at the way Prem was like trying not to like reveal it to Grandma.
secretly dating?
Well, the thing is, they haven't had the conversation yet. They still have not had the conversation. Like
Not even
10,
dating. Yeah.
yeah, 10 keeps trying to have the conversation and Prem keeps running away. But I'm guessing that his response to this question in this place about like would Prem be distracting or whatever is going to be a positive one, because we get a scene where he's like, does this mean I can like hit on you? And the chef is nowhere to be seen, so he must leave because he feels like, or he doesn't go with them to the market because he feels uncomfortable now. But
We'll see.
yeah, it looks like we're going to get some really cute stuff between them, and then it looks like we're going to get some sad stuff. But the thing that got me was we saw a bit in the trailer between Fire and
Oh,
Dynamite,
mm-hmm.
and I'm just
Fire
like,
is drunk.
yeah, I'm like,
Or
he's
sick.
drunk. Yeah, he's drunk, and Dynamite is wearing the shirt he's got on when they were filming. So at Prem's place, so it's that day, so it's that night maybe, and I wonder if he must like either call him there, or I wonder how he ends up wherever he is, because
Isn't
if
her on the roof? Isn't that happening on some kind of a roof?
maybe, I don't know, he's like laying in a beanbag or something. I'm not really sure, but like he's got no shirt on and he's drunk. And the way he's just like, I just want to be with you, or whatever he says, and then kisses him sweetly on the forehead. I'm just like, I feel like these characters are gonna kill me. I thought like Off and Gun as like Ten and Prem were gonna destroy me, but now I'm super super worried about
So many dangers in this series. So many,
yeah.
weapons just against us. Yeah, weak.
But yeah, but you know what I love? This is just really really funny to me, because um they must have had a break between filming.
Oh, Off's hair.
Off's hair. So like, it's not, by the time we get around to watching it next week, we're not really, and except for with the bit they show you at the beginning where it's like the previously on kind of trailer bit where we'll see his short hair. Like if they didn't do that, you won't really think much of it, especially because like at the moment his hair's kind of like that, so it's in our mind that his hair's longer or whatever. But like, could you imagine sitting down to watch this, like do a rewatch or something, and just like watching it consecutively, like all day or something, and you get to like this episode, and then you start watching the next episode, and suddenly his hair's like super long. I'm like, it's not great for continuality, but I mean, it happens in a lot of shows.
Happened in Dangerous Romance.
Yeah,
Although
it
the
just
difference it wasn't that
obvious. Yeah.
obvious, but yeah.
Well, I mean, there's been ones where like the character's hair color is like completely different. Like in different scenes, and it's like it's got like a it's like kind of red, and the rest of the show it's like brown. It's like clearly they reshot some scenes. Like, why wouldn't you have just put a brown wig on that person? Like, why? Or like, I don't know. But anyway, I did think it was really really funny. But yeah, it's just the trailer does look like it's going to be kind of painful, but also kind of sweet. I feel like we're really not going to know what's going to happen, because I feel like we're getting
Well,
to that.
if we're like using our new it's not a history, like how do you call it? Our new
Like the
knowledge.
theory on
Let's say
episodes. Yeah, knowledge.
theory, episode theory. Yeah, this the next one is going to be the getting together
Like
episode.
properly. Yeah.
It does look like it, right? The getting together. We did have a bit of like the third person getting involved here in episode 6, right? As we usually do. And then I'll also by this logic, episode 8 will be father trouble, daddy issues,
Well,
confrontation.
yeah, it's interesting because like like in trailers they mix stuff around and stuff, but like if I was gonna be like, okay, this is my theory for next week, my theory is, I have no idea for Fire and Dynamite, so I'm just gonna leave that to one side, but my theory is that Gunn is either going to affirmative that there's something going on between them, and that Off will be, not Off, that Tem will be distracting to him, and Off they'll skip to the market, or he'll just take him and they'll go to the market or whatever. Like, he won't actually answer all of them, but like it'll be completely obvious to everybody that that's what's going on. And then they'll have a conversation when they're at the market, because it looks like they're going to be sweet when they're at the market. And then it looks like potentially he comes home after the grandmother, or when the grandmother is still talking to Ten's dad. He must leave. And it looks like the grandmother's like, do you like him? You go, boy. Like, she's like all for it. She's not hiding him out. But I feel like
another amazing grandma.
yeah, I know, right? But I feel like maybe his insecurities and all that are gonna flare up, and because it looks like when Off is kind of not Off, oh god, when Tan is like reassuring Prem and basically saying like that he's going to prove to him that this is like worth it or whatever, it's kind of nighttime, so it would be then. So and Prem is crying, so I feel like that's probably after, you know, after the father's left and all that. So it'll be really interesting to see. I feel like, you know, it looks like they're going to have a really like sweet time, but whether or not they're like actually how like deep they get into actually like defining their relationship.
I think they might go deep. Maybe this is why she
I feel
cries, because they get real with each other. It's not about playing anymore. It's
no, but
about
I
serious
wonder
stuff.
I wonder if they're going to be just like, I wonder if they're going to be sweet like when they're at the market, and not still not like super super serious, but then of course when he comes home he's going to get this like slam of reality, and then it's super serious again. And I feel
Mhm.
like either Ten is going to find out from his father, like when he gets home or something, his father will say something to him about it, and then potentially he's going to get pissed and go back to check on Prem and find Prem like that, and then
Well, he might
maybe they'll
have some issues that are not, about the father. Something else might happen. Something about
yeah,
the restaurant. Something about
true,
the
but I
pen.
feel like he's going to go back there and um you know what I mean, like I feel like when he goes back that will be the moment where they like actually like cement it kind of thing. But I guess we'll wait and see, obviously. I'm very interested, because isn't it, it's like, is the kind of the thing is
Oh,
like
what if Dan's father finally talks to him, because he hasn't talked to him yet, and he's going to tell Prem, you don't date this guy,
yeah,
don't get close, because when he slaps him, he says, well, you're still dating him, aren't you? This
yeah,
is why they're having.
still
Well,
seeing
this is
him or
one of the
something.
lines. Yeah, this is one of the lines that he says, and I suppose Tan responds with something harsh and he slaps him.
Mm-mm.
I think that's how that's going to happen, and that might happen in episode 8, because they're going to date a bit, and Tan is not going to tell his father, and he's going to find out.
Maybe, yeah, because we're gonna, yeah, because episode 7, I feel like, yeah, it's the usually just like the getting together episode. Then the episode 8 is usually quite sweet between the characters, isn't it? And then there's I just said father drama.
Father drama,
Yeah,
father trouble,
yeah, and then
daddy issues.
episode 9 is the booty episode. The let's get it on episode. And then if we're following the path that seems to be like the new trend of GMM
Uh-huh.
dramas, and then episode 10 is like the, oh my god, I'm sorry, here, you didn't need your heart, right? Let me just hand
Uh-huh.
it to you, all smashed into smithereens and like in a complete bloody mess. Followed
Don't
by
say stuff
episode
like this. Episode 10 of Last Twilight is like
yeah.
tomorrow.
I know, right? And then
Sorry.
episode 11 is the like fixing it, and then episode 12 is the like tra la 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 happy ever after. So I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, we are basing this off on Dangerous
I mean,
Romance and
kind
the
of,
fact that we've ticked the other milestones so far in Last Twilight.
it's a generalization, of course. There are dramatic moments in every episode. There's something happening, but this is like something that they have in common. Some stuff that we noticed, and it will be fine if it actually is this way. If it continues happening like this.
Well, it's really interesting to see if this is, as I said, the new trend. I'm
Yeah.
curious as well to maybe watch a couple of dramas that aren't GMM I haven't really been like, I have watched some other stuff recently, but I haven't really been paying attention to like, you know, what the episode numbers are or anything to know whether or not they're following a similar like format plan. I
Mhm.
don't know. I'd be curious to watch something different from someone else and just to see if they're if it's just like the new thing.
Again, dear listener, if
Yeah.
you have any comments or opinions about, please let us know. We're
That's
very
right. Yeah,
curious.
if you have the answer to this, I'm super curious because yeah, I've watched a couple.
Examples, yes.
Yeah, I've been watching a couple other things. I'm watching The Sign and a couple others, but I've not really been paying attention in regards to, you know, those sorts of things.
Okay, so I guess this is it.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you for spending your time with us. Follow us on Spotify, on Tumblr, on Twitter. We have a Patreon account. We haven't set it up yet, right? Or have we?
No, we last night was me spent like reading the facts and stuff on how to set it up and just like having, you know, my eyes crossing and my brain leaking out my ears. So we'll get to it. It's coming.
We have a coffee account now, right?
Yeah,
Don't we?
Ko-Fi. Yeah.
Ko-Fi.
Yeah, I also haven't finished setting that one up though either.
Oh, we will have it soon. We will post about it. Send us messages. Thank you so much to the people that react
Yeah, and
to what we're
reaching out to
saying.
us. Yeah.
It's just, it's amazing. It makes me so happy, and we just you don't see it, but we keep freaking out about it.
Yeah. It's quite funny really, honestly, because it's like we're doing this and obviously we're having fun doing this. Like we enjoy talking to each other. We were doing this anyway. Like we were just like, oh, let's just record it. But it's just this like, you know, initially it was to me it was like us like yelling out into the void, and it's really really cool to it's always cool to find people who have the same like interests as you anyway, but like to be able to, you know, maybe um you know, get no, I'm trying to think of the right word here. You know, get somebody interested in something new, or like just like I can't believe how much time you guys are all dedicating to us. Like I know how much time we're spending doing it. And it's just like I know I sometimes get really like
Emotional.
frustrated, yeah, and emotional because I'm like, wow, you guys are like spending a lot of time listening to us talk, and I you know, I don't know that I'm really saying anything that interesting, but I thank you so much for spending.
I always want to apologize for,
Yeah.
those that you have to listen to me like in between Zoe talking. I'm really sorry. I know it's hard.
Oh my god, don't
I
be
have a,
like that.
I do have a function like Zoe talks to me. Although there will be a surprise, I will keep you posted about it. Right, Zoe?
I'm like this is gonna be another one of those things where you're gonna have to tell me what you're talking about when we're finished, because I'm like, there's a surprise. Is it for me as well? Do I get surprised? I'm like,
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. An upcoming surprise, a future surprise. But
Yes.
yeah.
So
Yes,
goodbye
that's
then.
it.
Bye.
Bye.